Hi everybody, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I would like to go over my personal top 10 phone interview tips. Now, these are tips that I think are really important things that go a little bit beyond just your normal preparation for an interview that you would do. Things like, learning about the company that you're going to be interviewing with, or preparing talking points, or thinking about potential answers to questions. This is like above and beyond that, things that I think are really applicable to specifically phone interviews or virtual interviews. Without further ado, I would like to present the top 10. Tip number 1, get out of your pajamas. It can be tempting, since it's just a phone interview, to stay in bed and do it, lounge on the couch, wear your pajamas, not take a shower. No, I think that it is very important to get up, get going, clean yourself up. I'm not saying don't be comfortable. I'm just saying get out of your pajamas, take a shower, run a comb through your hair. You don't have to do full-on hair and makeup or wear a suit or something, but just put on some clean, fresh clothes and get yourself presentable and in a decent mindset to really tackle that interview and feel your best. Tip number 2, stretch, relax, and breathe. It's equally important to make sure you're not tense during the interview. I know it's a stressful situation, but the more relaxed you are, the better. And it's going to come across too when you're speaking if you're more relaxed. So take a moment, roll your shoulders, try to relax the tension that you're holding here or in your neck or in your jaw. Take some deep breaths and get some good oxygen in you. And just try to decompress and really center yourself before you get on the call. Tip number 3, smile. This is something that I feel people maybe sometimes forget. If you're smiling when you're on the call, you're going to convey a more upbeat tone in your voice than you would if you're just really focused and intense. And there's nothing wrong with being focused on the call, but you also want to try to have, you want to sound positive, you want to sound relaxed and upbeat, and smiling when you're on the call can really lend that to your voice subconsciously. Like, you won't even really notice the tone, the the impact that it's having, but believe me, it'll have an impact. Number 4, try to match the energy of your interviewer. It can be complicated to try to connect with somebody over the phone. And I feel like when you're interviewing for a job, you want to make sure you have a good connection with the person who's interviewing you so that they maybe feel a little bit more invested in you as a candidate, and so that you're also presenting yourself as a good candidate for their organization. One thing that I always try to do is I try to match the energy level that they have. If there's somebody who's a little bit more serious, a little bit more somber, I'll try to kind of route my energy towards that. If it's somebody who's, really has a good sense of humor, maybe crack a joke. I think that that's something that's great to do. If that's something that you think could be perceived well, try to match where they are. And that's something that I think maybe is a learned skill. Number 5, use your headset. I like to use the headset on my phone. I just use the headphones with the microphone that come with my iPhone. Personally, I think I have better sound quality with that than if I'm holding the phone up to my ear. I also find that for me, I'm more relaxed. This goes hand in hand with what I was saying earlier about being relaxed on your call. For me, if I'm holding the phone up, I tend to tense my shoulder and my phone, and my phone hand. But if I'm using my headset, my shoulders are down a little bit more, and I also have my hands free to take notes or to do whatever else I need to do. This goes hand in hand with number 6, which is to sit up straight and have good posture. I think that you're going to be a little bit more upbeat and really project your confidence more if you're sitting up or standing up straight on the call instead of slouching in a chair or lying down on the couch or anything like that. I think it makes you seem a little bit more alert and ready And that's something that you definitely want in an interview. Tip number 7, choose a decent space to do the interview. Now, it's sometimes difficult to get the privacy level that we need or to get a quiet enough space. I know that even for me right now, as I'm recording this, I've had the train go by, I have cars going by outside, and it's not entirely 100% quiet. But try to get the best space that you can. Try to make sure you have good cell phone reception and away from distractions. Turn off the TV. There have been instances in which I've gone out to my car to sit in my car and do an interview out there because I knew that I needed the focus and the privacy, and that was the quietest place I could find in order to achieve that. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are in a good physical surrounding space in order to do the interview. Tip number 8, have your resume, the job description, and the ability to take notes at your fingertips. You can do this either on paper if you like having paper copies of things, or you can just even have your laptop or a screen up. Have your resume there so that you can pull from it information that you want to talk about, or you can reference things on there. Have the job description, if you have a copy of the job description, that is. They ask you a question, you could pull a keyword from the job description and relate back to that. It's helpful to have that to base your talking points off of. And then also have the ability to take notes, just even a question you might have that it might not be a good time to ask it right then at the interview, but you could ask it at the end and you don't want to forget that question, so write it down. Tip number 9, I think, is very important, and that is to speak clearly. You want to make sure that the person on the other end of the phone is able to understand what you're saying. And sometimes that can be difficult on the phone. We have a tendency to speed up and get excited about things we're talking about. Sometimes our words can get a little bit garbled. It's more difficult, I think, for some people over the phone versus face-to-face because you don't have the visual cues to go off of. You can't look at the person's mouth as they're talking to you and sort of read their lips on words here and there that might not come through as clearly. You want to make sure that you are pronouncing your words, speaking clearly, and if possible, remembering to keep your pace at a decent pace and slow down sometimes if you find yourself speaking too fast. You don't want to speak too slow or pronounce your words too much. But you do want to make sure that you're speaking at a good volume, a good pace, good tempo, cadence, whatever, and also make sure that it's clear what is coming out of your mouth. Have that level of focus to make sure that you are enunciating your words correctly. Number 10, and I feel like this is something that should just be common sense, but please, please, charge your phone before you do the phone interview. You do not want to be scrambling to find your charger when you're down to 5% battery and you still have 10 minutes left of this call. You don't want to suddenly get cut off. Please just charge your phone well before you have the call. So that's it. Those are my top 10 tips for doing a phone interview, in addition to your normal interview prep that you may be doing. Please comment below if there's anything that you found particularly useful. I find that feedback helpful. And good luck on your interview that you may have coming up. If you liked this video, please hit subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.